anytime that we have a legislation proposing to place a statue of Clarence Thomas on this grounds, we cannot avoid that conversation, so I'm not going to avoid it either. In the Black community, we have an expression, and I don't want to use this label too deeply here because I'm just trying to tell you what we have in the African American community. When we talk about a person of color that goes back historically to days of slavery and that person betraying his own community, we have a term in the Black community. That term that we use is called Uncle Tom. And Uncle Tom is either a fictional or non-fictional character. I don't really know the origin of Uncle Tom, but it talks about a person who back during the days of slavery sold his soul to the slave masters. That's the story of the fictitious of the story of an Uncle Tom. So when we think about a person in the Black community who's accomplished, but yet policies seek to subvert, some may even say suppress, the achievements and accomplishments of people of color, I couldn't help but to think about that term in expressing my dissatisfaction with this particular legislation.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being Black and conservative, but I am saying there seems to be a pattern of behavior from the Black people they attract to their party. Now, I'm not sure if the Republicans are doing this on purpose, but every single one of these people they promote and show to the world gives me that Stephen from Django feel. Like, where's the Black conservative that's married to a Black spouse? That's not something that's high on my priority list, but as I'm checking the landscape, I'm just posing the question because inquiring minds want to know.
I can guarantee you I was surprised when I found out she was going with a Black man. Jenny Thomas's Uncle Ralph Knopp said from his Iowa farmhouse, according to the Post, it was unusual for us. Jenny's Aunt Opal chimed in next, saying, but he was so nice we forgot he was Black. Here's when you don't want your relatives. My family never spoke like this, but I tell them, I don't want you talking to reporters about me for other reasons. Auntie Opal and Uncle Ralph. Great. At least we know who you are. He was so nice we forgot he was Black, and he treated her so well. All of his other qualities made up for his being Black.
That was wild. And there's nothing wrong with interracial relationships. Shit, Black women are in demand and Black men are in demand. But for some reason, anytime I see any one of theirs, what I just heard from Clarence's in-laws is the vision I get. But on another note, I know there's got to be some non-bootlicking conservatives out there. But if there is, we just don't never see them or hear from them. It feels like they're telling y'all to your face, we will not give you any shine unless you're going to say the racist stuff we want to say that you get to say because you're Black. That's the only explanation I could find as to why the only type of Black Republican that gets promoted are the ones who bash Black people.
You are a token. Hey, Jason, you're a token. You are in conservative media as a Black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid. And that's why I don't, because I didn't have the privilege of being born Black. I was born white, so there's a limit on what I can say. There's a limit on what I can say without being penalized in the so-called free marketplace of ideas, and everybody knows it. You are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your would be gone. And everybody knows that. You're on Blaze hosting E. Michael Jones talking about the Jews. It's a good thing you're black, because if you weren't, you would have been fired like Elijah Schaefer. Because you did not compete to get that. You got it because people feel sorry. People don't want to be called racist. They feel sorry. They need a black person to give them credibility.
You know what's crazy? Jason and the rest of the raccoons would tell us we took statements like the ones we just heard out of context. Have y'all noticed that's one of their favorite slogans? Anytime we tell a black conservative the racist stuff that was said, you know what they respond to us with? You took it out of context. Or they hit you with the, you just don't like me because I'm black and I have conservative views. And it's like, no, Negro. I just heard you say that the black family was better off during Jim Crow.
You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are.
Kamala Harris, her husband's white. Ketanji Brown Jackson, her husband's white. They don't say anything about those two dudes or the fact that they married white men because they follow Democratic liberal ideology.
Why does this rule only seem to apply to the black community? The louder you are when it comes to going hard against your own people, the easier it is to come up. The more anti-black a black person is, the bigger the bag. You want to get on and you got any kind of melanin in you? Just talk shit about black people. I see content all the time where our white allies be going hard against their own people. Or you get a channel like mine's where I'm speaking up for my people. We gotta grind hard for the traction. I'm talking about putting our all into the content. All kinds of bells and whistles. But then you get somebody like the Hodge twins, and these are two of the dumbest idiots I've ever come across. And all they put out is the same dry ass content. And they get consistent views across the board. I mean, every video is the same. Look, I'm black and even I have black fatigue. White folks love to see a black person going in on his own people.
I don't care who you is. I can tell who's at fault.
I don't care who you are.
I can tell who's the responsible person by just looking at their two different front yards. I just tell just by looking at that green house. Only one type of demographic of people live in that type of colored house.
Man, let's just be honest. Y'all make white racists feel comfortable. They get to say, look, they're black and saying everything I think and say. So it must be true, right? I don't care nothing about no Democrat or Republican or no left or right. But if every time I see you in front of a camera, you're talking down on people that look like me, of course I'm gonna question your values, morals, and motives. Because at the end of the day, I don't hear nothing constructive about what y'all be talking about. And most of the time, it just sounds like y'all auditioning for white approval. I'm out.